the most overlooked mechanic in Street Fighter 6. It uses 2 bars of drive meter, is punishable on block, and it puts your opponent full screen if it actually hits. Now you might not know which mechanic I'm talking about because players didn't really use it in Beta 1 or Beta 2. But we're talking about Street Fighter 6's Drive Reversal, which is a returning defensive mechanic from Street Fighter 5's V Reversal. Except, is it really worth using? I mean, obviously, why wouldn't you just go for a drive impact to get a full, easy punish, right?
Let's wrap this up. Not too slow. Stay.
Or at least that's what I would be saying if there wasn't another mechanic in the game that was harassing players the entirety of Beta 1 and Beta 2. And if you've played the Street Fighter 6 beta, you definitely know which mechanic I'm talking about. And if you don't know, we are definitely talking about Drybrush. So let's talk a little bit about Drybrush. Drybrush is the best offensive mechanic in Street Fighter 6. It allows you to link combos that aren't normally possible. For example, an overhead into a combo. Oh, and also, if you block it, they're plus. So you gotta hold that shit. Now, obviously, with how powerful this mechanic is, it's also very expensive. It normally costs 3 bars of drive gauge in order to even pop it off from a cancel. From a cancel, that is the key word. But you can also activate this mechanic from neutral by doing parry and then double tapping forward, which will give you a drive rush from mid-screen or full screen if you choose to do so. Now normally it costs 3 bars of drive meter in order to even get the drive rush off from a normal attack, but if you use it with parry like this in neutral, well, I mean, instead of costing 3, it costs 1 bar, which then lets you abuse poor players like this Kimberly here to guess either between a high or a low mix-up. And if they block it, who cares? It's still my turn. There also aren't a lot of ways to counter it. You can drive impact, but I mean, your opponent will be able to pretty much react to it and drive impact back, or just throw you out of it. And parry, well, the parry's a whole nother discussion that I am not going to get into in this video.
I gotcha.
Now, with all the things that this mechanic seems to bend you over with, we come back to the mechanic that nobody was using in order to stop the bending of over. But to move on and to get my points across, here are some common Drybrush offensive starters that you saw Jamie players doing in the beta. And as you'll see, I can't really do much about. Now there's a couple of ways to avoid this. All of them involve your super meter or EXDP, which give you iframes, but for the sake of this video, we're going to use drive reversal. Now let's run into the same messed up situation, but this time I'm going to use my drive reversal as soon as I see that icky green flash on the screen. Now this is the way you should be using drive reversal, but you can also use it like Street Fighter 5's G reversal against super plus special moves like Ken's heavy dragon kick or Kimberly's running kick. Both of these moves are plus infinity, so you do not want to be blocking them. It puts you in a very unfavorable situation. Now you can start seeing how strong this mechanic will turn out to be later on in the game's lifespan when people actually start using it correctly, much like Street Fighter 5's V reversals. Now, I highly doubt they're going to change anything about this mechanic upon full release, but if they do change something, it'll more than likely be buffs instead of nerfs. But with that being said, I hope you gained something useful from this video, and I'm just going to speculate and assume the next beta that's going to be happening is going to be open for all players. So if and when you get to try out the game, please do not forget that you have drive reversal. It is very good, I promise. You just have to use it correctly. Now for the next video, I'm going to be talking all about Street Fighter 6 parry mechanic and perfect parry mechanic. Now, I love and hate these mechanics, but I'll save that rant for that specific video. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass